And hello, and welcome to another episode of CBD Genie. My name is Matt,
And I'm Jonathan.
and we have something a little different. We have an interview with Oren from Kiara.
Yeah, it was great to catch up with Oren, learn more about the range of Kiara products and their brand and where they see the whole market going. So let's go to the interview.
Right, Oren. Our first question to you then is: do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? How did you start in the CBD world?
Well, I'm sure, like most people, it was a long story and a bit by chance. My training or my schooling is I'm an osteopath. I have a first and master's degree in osteopathy, and I was working in the NHS in the UK. And after a while, I was looking for a bit of a break. It was intense, and I found myself going on vacation with a very good friend of mine, who's today my partner. His name is Boaz Lehman. And we went to work for a friend in his hemp fields, just as a fun break to be outside. I'd never seen hemp fields before, and I got there, and there was these endless fields of giant cannabis plants. And in Switzerland, they never really work with the traditional industrial hemp because their regulations are a bit different. So these plants were surprisingly looking like cannabis, THC cannabis, and it smelled the same and it looked the same, and it was in this middle of the Swiss Alps and endless fields, and I fell in love, of course.
You've really romanticized CBD there, haven't you?
Well, I grew up in a time where cannabis was illegal, and unlike in the U.S. where they've had this for so long, for us it was at the time it was a very rare view, and there was just a whole valley of hemp field. It was the biggest greenhouse and outdoor hemp grow in Europe at the time.
Wow.
And it was enormous. So we got to know this plant. We've been working, myself and my co-founder Boaz Lehman, with plants for many, many years. Food supplements, topicals, cosmetic, whatever. And we started getting into this CBD and looking into it, seeing what's going on. So people heard that we were in Switzerland. They say, "Come on, why don't you get us some CBD?" And we're like, "Listen, we don't know anything about it. Just get it for us. We'll sort it out." And we did that, and we saw there were great responses. And then we started looking into it, seeing how we can combine it with other plants. And we basically saw a hero plant that is giving a break for plant medicine. And we said, okay, let's look deeper into it. Let's take it into our clinics. Let's take it into our practice. And that's what we did. And it was amazing.
So what was your very first product?
The very first product was the CBD oil.
CBD oil.
Isolate, oil, and distillate, as we were offering them then. It was still quite common to offer isolates and distillates to end consumers. But we've been doing herbal products for clinics and alternative healthcare practitioners for many years before. So it was an easy transition. We said, listen, we have this product. You want to try it? We've seen some great results around us, and it was very well accepted. There was a big hype. There was a lot of unknowns, but for sure it was great. And that's how we got into it.
So what sort of range of specific CBD products do you have now?
Wow, today it's gotten pretty elaborate. So of course the CBD oils and other cannabinoids, CBG, CBC, CBN. I mean, whatever's up and coming, and whatever there is research to back. We do now a lot of products that are combining many other medicinal plant extracts together with CBD. If there is a need, we also have many products without CBD. But these are dry extract capsules. We have traditional hydroethanol tinctures. We have dry extracts in capsules, not just powders. We have creams and salves, vaporizers. Whatever can work, we try it.
Yeah.
So you haven't gone down the road of the gummy type, sweetie type sort of.
We
product.
actually, sorry, I forgot about that. We launched gummies. It was, I think, the last week of September, our first test gummies. We did a small batch to see the response to it.
Yeah.
And now we're making more.
You're still making more.
That's good. And you mentioned obviously people, looking at different sort of therapies and how people are responding to CBD. In your view, is there a particular ailment where CBD really sort of excels at, in terms of helping people?
In my personal clinical experience and from what we're seeing as a response from our patients, I would say that it's definitely anxiety and stress are high up there, but it's also what people are most suffering from now. So I mean, we've also had great results with pain and sleep and a bunch of other things, but definitely feelable, immediate, and long-term beneficial for most people that try it is really the stress and anxiety. Yeah. Even if they don't know to say exactly what changed, many times it'll be, I can't tell you what's happened, but it's all better.
It's something I find particularly fascinating about CBD is the fact that it's something that helps people with anxiety, which you might say is in the mental area of wanting to deal with something. And then you've got people that are saying that it's helping with pain, which is purely physical. So it sits in that Venn diagram middle bit, doesn't it, of mental and physical, which is interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I have to say, for us from the plant, we come from plant medicine, and there's quite a few plants that will do that. The physical mental systems are inseparable. If you manage to regulate your adrenaline and cortisol peaks and falls, then you'll feel that on your mental state. Same with plants that do it with sugar, right? I mean, if you can balance out the peaks of insulin and glucose, and you're also feeling better. So that's not unusual, but CBD does that miraculously well and miraculously feelable. Unlike other plants that will take you a long time to feel that anything has changed, and CBD is like bam.
And so, I mean, in terms of Kiara, is there a sense that you have a unique sort of space in the market in terms of what it is you do or how you do it? I mean, I know you mentioned a lot about blending it with other sort of plant extracts and things like that. Is that where you feel your strength and uniqueness lies, or is it something else?
Wow, that's a great question. I think for sure that's a huge forte that we have is the knowledge that we bring about other plants and how those can be combined. There's no, other than the pharmaceutical industry, there's no traditional plant or substance-based medicine that uses isolated materials. So we believe, coming from a holistic point of view, we believe that combining other compounds together can be beneficial if there's the data and the research to support it. Yeah. Why take one ingredient when you can take a plethora of them and get the benefit from all of them, which we see also in the hemp and cannabis world with the pure versus the full spectrum, right? The full spectrum is a much more ancient, if we can call it like that, and holistic approach, whereas the pure is leaning towards the pharmaceutical approach of single isolate ingredients. So that for sure sets us apart. The fact that we take these other plants and we have the knowledge and experience and have been lucky enough to work with them for a very long time. And I think the other part is the fact that we treat our customers in a different way. We try to give them first the support to find out what they need and what they need it for. And in many cases, CBD is the right thing, but if it's not, then there's many other things that can help. And not so much to just, here, take it, just try it till you find the right dose. That's less our approach. And I think that bringing in that alternative healthcare practitioner kind of vibe is another big part of what we do. And the further along the line we're getting it, the more digitalized and quick it's becoming and more effective that it gets.
Your healthcare background definitely sets you apart a little from other CBD companies. And this is in no way a statement to be derogatory about other CBD companies, but everybody comes to their place following a different path. And you've come from a healthcare background. So that's going to inform how you move forward with your range of products and your company generally.
Absolutely.
How do you see your company evolving within the market?
Oh, wow. So the CBD market is in an interesting place at the moment. E-commerce in general in Europe is still very CBD e-commerce based environment, right? It's not as brick and mortar as the US, for example. So e-commerce is changing. CBD companies are changing. We're seeing a lot of competition or colleagues disappear. Not so many new people coming on. And I believe that the CBD industry will grow into a brand-oriented industry. So whereas now it's a very price point, it's affiliate-based, it's where can I find it, who's offering it, at what cost, it will do the same shift that many other industries have done, where people are starting to trust their brand, they will follow their brand. Hopefully the brands, and I also hope that we are up for that challenge and to be reliable and trustworthy and to stay long enough to build that relationship. And that's where I think the CBD industry is going. I don't know if I completely answered your question, but
no, like you said, well, I think to a certain extent, isn't it? It means that I think probably the brands that are going to survive are the ones that are in it for the long run and not just here to quickly throw up an e-commerce store and sell some product and then disappear. So, but it takes time, isn't it? It takes a lot of commitment to do that.
Absolutely. And I think that there is this people or companies that are in the CBD world now are still forgetting that they're treating mostly people's problems. And we're still behaving as an industry that's, giving out this wellness cosmetic commodity, but we're helping the people that actually have problems. And I think that until we as an industry can make that gap, and that's I think where Kiara really excels, is understanding we're actually helping people with things that are really hard for them. And that's a responsibility and a privilege, and you have to do what it takes to earn that place. And I think that as faster the industry goes there, and as regulation changes, and that we're able to actually say to our customers more about what we can actually do for them, that's where the industry sweet spot will really be. And that's where the customer loyalty will be long term.
You just actually steamrolled right over a question I had. I was just about to ask by answering it before I asked it, which was exactly that the whole market is playing to people that are vulnerable in the sense that they have a problem, an ailment, potentially something they've been looking for a solution for a long time and not found it. So there's a lot of companies out there that could take advantage of that in a negative way. And I think you've just said it. There is a responsibility to behave in such a way that you're respecting the customer's motivation.
Absolutely, and it's a big one, and it's really a good question. How do you do that? Because this molecule is really helpful and it's really good. It really can help a lot of people. One of the people that I really admire, the company that I look up to, is Indoka, and their founder is always talking about how CBD is actually a food supplement. Because cannabinoids are made by your own system, and would you lead a normal, healthy lifestyle, you would have enough in your body, and maybe you'd need to strengthen it every now and then. But our nutrients in our food are poor, our lifestyle is stressful, we're not listening to our bodies, to the environment. We need to give ourselves this. So in that sense, it's great. You could sell CBD to everyone and they would benefit. But like you said, I think there's really people coming, in many cases, they're coming already hopeless because they've been through this whole system and they've tried the painkillers and they've tried the SSRIs, but the side effects were too bad and they don't get it. And they're coming to us and they're really hopeful, or they're trusting us. And I think that the brands that are consistent and successful in the European landscape right now and in the UK are the brands that are doing that shift, taking care of their quality, taking care of their certifications, making sure their products are clean. some of them don't give the support that I think is necessary to make that step. But that's, everybody has their style.
Yeah, but also, I mean, as you've said, I think a little previously, over the coming couple of years, maybe there's going to be a sort of a natural filtering process, and the people that come out of it will be those people that have taken the long-term view, I think, and the care of people they're selling to.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see with the regulations. The regulations are very minimizing, and then if you have only those, if you have no, how do you say, no pirates left in the end, then you have a very minimal range of possibilities. But I'm sure it'll be nicely balanced.
Okay. Brilliant. So lastly, for this little discussion is, gummies came out, I think you said at the end of September this year, and you've trialed those, and obviously that's been popular. So is there any clue as to something big coming over the next couple of months? Anything new?
For Kiara?
Yeah. Any new announcement?
Oh, wow. We've got so many things cooking in the kitchen. We are, first of all, doing these gummies as a permanent product, which is fantastic. We have a brand new 5-mushroom product line that's going to come out with medicinal mushrooms. Mm-hmm. Those, I think, are the two main things. We're also coming out with different variations of the vapes for night, for day, with specific terpenes that are targeted at those specific conditions or situations. And it's a real secret, we are also in the beginning of a collaboration for women and men's sexual health.
Well, okay.
Well,
because if we can do one restricted industry, then why not add another?
Absolutely. I think we'll have to have you back on for another chat when you've got a little bit more meat on that one.
Absolutely.
Right terminology.
Probably a bit dodgy. Anyway, that's fantastic. Well, yeah, many thanks for that, Orun. It's
quite an insight to your company. It's good.
No, it's a pleasure to speak to you.
Yeah.
We'll catch up with you again soon.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys.